Still remember the day I walked into a gym for the very first time. My dad had finally convinced me to join him during one of his workouts, and I was humbled very quickly. Within the first 20 minutes of me being there, I had dropped a barbell straight onto my face. Ever since that day, I have been training consistently with the hopes of attaining an aesthetically pleasing physique and becoming stronger. Exercise is not a foreign concept in the United States. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention discovered on June 24, 2018 that 54% of adults aged 18 or over met the physical activity guidelines for aerobic physical activity. Today I want to tell you about the complex factors that go into maximizing muscle growth in hopes of making this form of physical activity less intimidating. I will first discuss the various ways to trigger muscle growth, second, the way to optimize training and dieting, and third, how to effectively recover. First, muscles respond to different types of resistance and grow accordingly. Calisthenics have a large presence in the fitness industry due to these workouts having a large potential for muscle endurance and not relying on any equipment. Calisthenics have been around as early as the classical era and have been a recurring topic throughout history. The term to describe these exercises comes from the Greek language, and the Manila Times reported on July 6, 2013 that calisthenics were derived from the Greek kalos, meaning beauty, and stenos, meaning strength. After peak progressive overload by means of calisthenics is achieved, muscular endurance is developed. There is a limit to how much resistance your body will provide, and it is much harder to target secondary muscles with this style of training. Weight training is another alternative that has allowed for individuals to transcend the boundaries of calisthenics. By incorporating weights into a training program, the muscle fibers will be subjected to much greater resistance. Medical News Today explained on January 8, 2020 that muscle fibers take damage when challenged with increased levels of resistance, and the body rebuilds these fibers bigger and stronger. Now that I have explained the triggers for muscle growth, I will second discuss how to optimize training and dieting. Muscle building requires effective use of time and food management. Many people do not have a plan when going into the gym. Shape reported on October 20, 2016, a long-term workout plan can reflect the amount of effort put in and how close a goal is from actualization. Lack of motivation is one of the main reasons people stop going to the gym. Without constant visual progress, people tend to give up very quickly. And the human body needs proper nutrients for the muscle building process. Muscle protein synthesis is one of the driving factors of anabolism. Gatorade Sports Science Institute claimed on January 24, 2013, that muscles will not grow if the body is not rehydrated, replenished, and repaired with proteins. The article claims muscle protein balance leads to maximized muscle growth. Many adults tend to suffer from malnutrition due to conflicts in their schedules, and that is why proper balance must be found between training and dieting. Goals set for training and dieting must be consistent. Training for large amounts of muscle mass will not work if the individual is in a caloric deficit. Contradictions in these two areas will set back most people. If training is done properly and dieting is not, progress will be drastically hindered, and this also applies when the roles are switched. Now I just went over optimizing training and dieting. Third, I will explain how to properly recover from training. Recovery relies on sleep, nutrition, and active rest. The quality of sleep an individual gets each night accounts for a majority of their progress. Everyday Health explained on May 13, 2019, that sleep is the time when the body produces a majority of its growth factors and hormones. Lack of sleep may lead to neurological changes as well as hormonal disturbances, especially if the person is training heavily. 7 to 9 hours of sleep is the suggested time, but it varies per person. Poor nutrition, primarily lack of proteins, prevents proper recovery. Without a balanced diet, the individual will suffer from a lack of BCAAs. Branched-chain amino acids is the second main source of energy used by the muscles. Without these, the muscle will enter a catabolic state, and protein synthesis is one of the most convenient tools for recovery post-workout. Whey protein is one of the options, and it is absorbed by the body very quickly. Casein protein is slower in comparison, but it can be used overnight, and that is the advantage of it. Carbohydrates are needed to supply the body's energy for a workout, so they're just used in general. Active rest alleviates soreness, and Healthline described on December 18, 2019, that active rest helps decrease overall recovery time while also providing an alternative to passive rest. Active rest reduces the lactic acid buildup in muscles, which is the main contributor to muscle soreness, and by increasing the blood flow to affected areas, it makes sure that the muscle maintains its flexibility and health. Today I wanted to tell you about maximizing muscle growth. I first discussed the triggers for muscle growth, second, the optimal training and dieting, and third, the many different areas of recovery. Comparing myself to the state I was in the first time I walked into a gym, it's obvious that I have made a lot of improvements in regard to my strength and physique. However, based on the research I did for this speech, I can progress my fitness journey even further.